Hey guys, welcome to the annual Hamburger Bad Mom's Day, Bad Mother's Day. Glad to have you here. You know, some people get offended that I do this, and I think if this offends you, fuck you, because you didn't have my horribly, horribly shitty mom. You didn't grow up with that mom. You didn't grow up with. I'll get into it right now, and I go through this every time. Let me just share on my thingy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm live now. See, it's starting to share me now. Funny enough, because my content is mellowed out. Okay, can we all appreciate my cheesy fucking face photoshopping? I mean, it is bad, but yeah, right? I got Joan Crawford, my mom, and my youngest mom. And I think they qualify. Like my oldest mom, she's a horror as an ex. And was a horrible wife, and I was a horrible husband. But she wasn't a horrible mom. She wasn't fantastic. I had him full time for the first couple of years, but I was also wanted the divorce constantly, and I was never happy. So I wore on her, and she just bailed. But then she came, like she was there, and she gave financial support and stuff like that. Anyway, so she's not on here. She doesn't get her face up here because she's not a bad mom. We didn't work out, you know. That's the thing. That's what people have to understand. There's a difference between being a bad parent and not working out as a couple. Not everybody's a bad parent. Like, not all these people are bad parents. That, you know, like someone's like, oh, they're a bad parent. No, you know what? Maybe they aren't a bad parent. Maybe they're like, sorry. Okay, what am I trying to do? Thank you, Cam Mike. I'm a little slow today. Let's get into this. And I figure most people are probably with their moms, but you'll watch this later. You know you will, because you like to see it. You guys like the fact. Sorry, let me button this. That white's not working. Black on white. Oh, sorry. Anyway, right? My hair? I didn't care. Look at that. Look at that shit, though. Look at that. How it makes you kind of go, ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Anyhow, that hurt. That really fucking hurt my neck to do that. I'm having neck surgery and I can't fucking wait now. Now I'm excited about it. Tiger Woods had the same thing. Or I'm having the same thing as Tiger Woods, I should say. Anyhow, here's the point. Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. If you didn't have a horrible mom, you know, or you don't get what my mom did, then you don't get it. And I understand that. That's okay. I'm not mad at you for being upset that I do this. Some people are like, oh, well, you know, your mom's your mom. You can't hate your mom. Yeah, you can. Yeah, sometimes it's important to not like your parents. When your parents are really bad people, and I want to explain this to a lot of people out there. Not that anyone's watching, but eventually people will see it. You don't have to love or like your parents. You don't have to know them if they're really bad, if they're bad. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't mean they were strict. I don't mean they were strict and they made you do this, or they made you take piano every day, or they made you go practice every day, or like John Elway's dad made him throw every day when he went on to be John Elway. I mean, where they do horrible things like give you drugs. Like, or my mom would have me buy pot for her husband when I was like 13. She would have me score him pot, because he was in a bad mood and she just wanted him to get pot and she knew I could get it. So she'd hit me up to get him pot. Do you see? He used to get us high when we were like 12 and stuff. When I was like 12 and my sister was like 14 or whatever, he used to get us high. And then he'd tell my mom on us. He was the worst person ever. And like literally he'd smoke in the house when we were kids. He was my mom's second husband. He was a guy named Edward James Skowron. I beat the shit out of this dude and he cried. He literally cried. I'm dying. But he was a woman abuser, heavy racist. See, my family pretends they're Democrats and they're this and that. This is the problem with people. And this is what we're going to talk about in a second with where's your line. But my mom, you know, is like, oh, this wonderful person, right? But she's married to a racist, bigoted, prejudiced, chauvinistic piece of shit. He is complete garbage. He was always saying racial shit. He was always saying chauvinistic shit. He had the shirt that said mustache rides 5 cents. I just got a text. You got to see this. This is fantastic. Come on. This is fantastico. They must have heard me talking. But yeah. So I just got to, yeah, send my mom weed. So the point I'm making though is for a lot of people out there, this isn't a great day. This isn't like a day of celebration. Well, okay. So I got to say this, not that she can hear. She's always over in her room and with TV on or whatever when I do this, when she's here. By the way, that's why you'll never see me smoking or doing anything crazy. Or if you don't, then it's because my kids are here. When I'm alone, then I'm me. Okay. So anyway, my ex calls her yesterday and tells her, I got a little resi right there. My ex calls her and tells her, or texts her and tells her, hey, call me. It's kind of important. So my daughter thinks, oh, she goes like this. She goes, oh, I guess mom wants to probably see me. It's Mother's Day. She calls her and she goes, hey, I'm expecting mail. That's going to come there on accident because her dad just died. And I guess my daughter's like, okay, like, and she's like, okay. And then my daughter was showing her some art and this, and she put up with it for a second. And then my ex was like, all right, gotta go. I gotta go eat. She told her, oh, I gotta go eat. And then she bailed. And I had to tell my daughter, I didn't want to tell my daughter this. I didn't want to tell my daughter. Honestly, yesterday I didn't tell her. I let it go. Because she's like, oh yeah, mom called. It was cool. We actually had a conversation without fighting. And I was like, oh, shit. And she didn't understand that my ex was worried about the piece of mail. She called to check on the piece of mail. She hadn't called for like a week. She told her to fuck off. Like, she's awful. But then she realized she needed mail. My ex is a horrible, selfish person. Her parents were selfish. They're just awful people. So she called her to check on the mail. But I ended up this morning having to tell her, hey, look, I just want you to know, because my daughter ended up giving my ex some passcodes to things so my ex can use them. And it's like, no, I pay for everything. Fuck no. That's not happening. That's not, because I cut her off. I had given her the Netflix and stuff because when my daughter was seeing her, so my daughter could have Netflix and everything there, I just gave my ex the codes and stuff. Like, go for it. I don't care. But then when she pulled all this crap, it was like, all right, I'm not giving you Netflix to not see your daughter or not be a mom. Anyway, so that said, the point I'm making is not all parents are good. I love that. That is fantastic. By the way, the one right there is my mom at like 60. So when I say I had to bang my mom, so would you. That's my mom at 60. That's my ex looking pretty wonky after doing like a couple years of meth without us knowing. This is after this is about a year after we were separated or divorced. And that's Joan Crawford from Mommy Dearest. I figured the three worst moms. L'chaim, right? And if you can't l'chaim, lick his wife. Here's the thing. What I'm trying to say. Oh, by the way, let me just make sure because nobody would tell me. I should always check. I really should. Shame on me. And that's Joan Crawford. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. All right. So, simple point is this. Not all moms are good. Everybody stop making people feel like they have to love their mom or dad. You don't have to love your mom or dad. You do if they do their job. Like, let's say your dad's a dork or a wacko or a whatever, but he's never hurt you guys. Or your mom, they've never hurt you. Maybe they're a little loud at things. Maybe they're a little shy at things. Maybe they're nerdy or they look dorky. Maybe they dress dorky. You know what I'm saying? Maybe their hair looks like this today. I just didn't want to do anything with my hair. But the point I'm making is maybe your parents aren't perfect. Maybe they're goofs. Maybe they're this. Maybe they're that. Maybe they fuck up. Maybe your dad gets fired all the time, but he doesn't care. He keeps going back and trying. Maybe your mom gets fired all the time. She doesn't care. She keeps trying. Maybe people pick on your parents and call them nerds and stuff like that, or they're huge and people call them fatty and all this stuff. Not a reason not to love them if they're there for you. If your parents are there for you the best they can be. See, there's a couple down the street. Their little kid wanders the street. He went to school with my daughter. They're pieces of shit. They're doing drugs all day where their kid runs around the street and they don't care where he is. He's my daughter's age in Hollywood. They're pieces of crap. They're horrible fucking people. He should grow up to hate them. But he won't grow up to hate them. He'll grow up to do everything he can for them because They treat him like shit. If they treat him like shit, he'll require their love. See, that's what I'm saying. And you know what? You tell your mom, happy Mother's Day from me, and tell her, thank you for being a good mom. Because again, let's understand that what I say by being a good mom is, again, very easy. It doesn't mean you have to do great things. You have to give your kids stuff or anything. Being a good parent, but let's say a mom, being a good mom, because it's Mother's Day, being a good mom is putting your children before you. My mom let her husband kick out her own kids, all three of them, at different times. This woman, my youngest mom, we were being attacked by a homeless older black woman, basically attacked, like verbally attacked, and she was coming toward us. I looked at my 6 foot tall ex as though, obviously you're a black woman, you're 6 feet tall, so, and you're from South Central all the time, you claimed, which she was from Upland, actually, most of the time. Her dad, who had nothing to do with her, lived in Compton. Anyhow, you find out real shit after. But the reality is, so then my ex takes my 9-year-old at the time, or 8-year-old daughter, our daughter, mine and her daughter, not mine, our daughter, takes her and goes like this, goes, oh, and puts my daughter, our daughter, in front of her. That's when I just go, okay, well, because I was going to not be the aggressor, because I'm a man and this is a homeless black woman. And I'm like, you know, like, thank God Megan's there, because Megan's a black woman. So no matter what happens from here on in, it's not going to be like I attacked some homeless woman, right? You know, or whatever, right? So anyway, I run up and I go, bitch, get the fuck away from my kid. I will kill you. To the homeless guy, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you. Back the motherfucker up. And she turns around and starts walking away. But I hated that I had to do that. But you get near my kids, I'll kill you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair with one leg. I'll chop your fucking head off if you're coming at my kids. My kids are my life. Even my son, who's off and on a great and a dick, but he's an amazing person. Let me just say this. I raised an amazing child there. I gave the world a great kid. Sometimes he could be a total dick of a son. But even then, I love him and I die for him in a minute. My kids come first always. My mom slept with my sister's fiance when after my sister had just lost my father. Wait, or was it? No, sorry. My father my father went on the run. And my mom, there's a guy named Sam Carino. He went to high school with my sister. He was a little older than her. He was like a year older than her, 2 years older than her. So my sister was gorgeous. Everyone loved her. Sam was this like short dude who played on the baseball team, little penis, but short dude, played on the baseball team. I literally had to scare this guy away because he was coming at my sister. So the point being is, my mom is divorced. My dad bailed on my mom and was with like a fucking 20-year-old, right? My dad was with a former Miss Anaheim who ended up being my stepmom. He was banging all these hot, like gorgeous women all the time, right? So my mom was super bitter and drinking all the time like she always did, but now she was just like a bitter drunk. And anyway, apparently she'd get drunk some nights and then fuck my sister's fiance while my sister was doing stuff like working or doing shoots or doing stuff like this. My mom would be at home banging my sister's fiance, Sam Carino, right? Then my mom got a boyfriend who kicked Sam out. Oh, well, I give it to her beyond, baby. I give it to her beyond. She's a better mom than mine. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But so here's the thing. By the way, great photo work, right? That's my mom. That's my ex, my second ex. My first ex didn't make it up here, doesn't make it up here because she's done more than enough as a mom. I mean, she's been kind of a dick sometimes to my kids. She's been jerky to them sometimes. She's told them to not talk to her. She's told them that this one could be her new mom. But she's never bailed on them. She's never cut them off. You know, thank you. But she's never cut them off or anything. And so she would never belong up here. Do you see what I'm saying? It takes a lot. Takes a hell of a lot to get up here. So my mom She stole money and stuff from us. She stole our Bank of America bonds. My grandma Elizabeth, you see her in the opening thing. She was my special. She was my greatest. She was my true supporter and cheerleader and everything. My grandma had my back. My grandma Elizabeth, my mom's mom, who my mom could never live up to her standards or whatever, but my grandma was phenomenal to me. My grandma, I wish my grandma a happy Mother's Day. And you know what? My grandmother, there you go. My grandma, yeah, she was real strict. She put a lot of pressure on my mom and my uncle. And see, my uncle would avoid my grandma like the plague. He moved away from her not to be with her. But he's mad because I point out what a piece of shit this woman is for fucking her daughter's fiance, for getting drunk all the time, for being passed out half naked in front of the toilet in front of your kids all the time, for fucking your daughter's friend's brother, for fucking other people in the neighborhood, and then being an escort, then marrying a dude and bringing him into the house who does drugs, pulls his dick out at a kid's party, but you keep him around. I kick his ass. I beat his little sissy ass into the ground. Well, first of all, we fought a bunch of times when I was little, and he couldn't even beat me. But then when I grew up and became grown, and I broke his fucking face. And he stopped being abusive to my brother and sister, who I don't talk to. See, my brother and sister don't understand that the only reason they weren't abused as kids is because I beat their dad's ass. If I wouldn't have beat their dad's ass when he went after my little brother, who was 4, went after him and went off on him and everything else, and then came at me, and I beat the shit out of him because I told him to stop going after him over a haircut he didn't like. I beat the fuck out of him. After that, he shut his loud, bigoted, prejudiced mouth. But my mom, who's always like neutral and this and that, never took a side, never protected her kids. I had a girl one time, my daughter told me that she grabbed her. I told the girl was living with me. I told her, you grabbed my daughter? I go, what happened? She goes, I won't answer that. I go, get the fuck out. Bye. She goes, well, no. I go, no. Bye-bye. You don't ever fucking tell me you won't answer what happened to my kid. I just asked you, did you grab my kid? She goes, well, no. We're done. I said, did you grab my kid? You didn't answer. Get the fuck out. You're not going to answer me? Fuck you. Get out. My kids knew from that day forward there was nobody who could fuck with them. Now, they couldn't be shitty to nobody. If they were shitty to someone, I'd go off on my kids. But nobody disrespected my kids with me. Even my first ex's first guy started to say something. I was on my way up, and my ex was like begging me no, and then he apologized, and we seemed to be cool. From then, everyone kind of hid shit from me. But simple point is this: not everyone has good parents. Not everyone has good moms. Not everyone enjoys Mother's Day. But there's moms out there like these two. Sorry, like these 3. There's moms out there like those 3 right there that they think they're okay. Like my sisters give my mom the #1 mom charms and everything else. But this is the woman who let you get kicked out. This is the woman who brought drugs around you. My older sister, should have played Olympic soccer and then professional. Should have been an actress and a model. She was in movies and stuff, but then she ended up in soft porn and stuff. My oldest sister, Michelle, ended up doing soft porn. She's in Penthouse. You can look her up, Michelle Seuss or Michelle Berger. Michelle Berger, if you look her up, you can see she was in like porn and shit. My younger sister stripped at Venus Fair on Lancashire in the Valley in North Hollywood in California. She stripped behind glass. Now, my younger sister was an amazing athlete, musically talented, great student. Ended up graduating high school and sort of fucking with college. My older sister, like I said, there was nothing she couldn't do. She was the best at everything. But then my mom fucks her fiance, and it fucks her head and brings all this shit around her, right? So she starts smoking pot, doing this, getting hooked on pills and all this shit. She ends up marrying a somewhat decent dude. He's kind of, he's sort of a dope, but he's somewhat decent. Anyway, they're together. They have these kids that are doing amazing. And I told her, like, don't fuck it up. Don't be like mom. Same age. She fucks it up. One kid ends up in fucking jail. She just had a kid almost overdose. All this shit goes on. Be a better mom. It's not hard. Just be a better mom. Be a better parent. Be a better parent. Or just walk the fuck away, but admit it. Stop. There's so many people out there talking about like, oh, this happened or that. There's this reason or that reason or this reason or that reason. More than likely, most people that don't have their kids, it's them. in general, because I'm going to tell you this. This one here took me to court trying to get a restraining order and doing all this shit and trying to fuck me over with the divorce and everything. The judge, heavyset Mexican lady, the two bailiffs, or the bailiff and the court reporter, black women, fucking hated me. I had my braids at the time, hated me. I just went forward and did all the paperwork and did what I was supposed to. When everything started coming out for the restraining order, when she was like, ma'am, do you want your daughter though? Because obviously you said he was a threat to you guys. She goes, well, no, like he's not. Ma'am, has he ever hit you? And she's like, well, no. Okay, why don't understand the restraining order then? And she's like, well, he said he was a teacher, but he's an 8. I'm a teacher. I showed it. I go, ma'am, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I am a teacher. Here's my ID. And I show. She goes, what are you talking about, ma'am? And then the other reason she wanted a restraining order was I lied about being Jewish or something like that. And the judge is like, okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. Sir, I apologize for your time. This is denied. And so then we go to court, same judges, same everything. Or I'm sorry, no. Different judge situation, but the same dichotomy, right? And fucking hates me. Then as we get toward the end of the trial, she hates my ex. Then when my ex doesn't even show up and then I get full custody and everything, the judge apologizes. The bailiff even says, I'm glad you got that. Yeah, you deserved it. Like, sorry. Like we hated you. They were basically saying like, look, yeah, we hated you. But obviously you're not lying. Obviously you're not the person making this shit up. And so this is what I'm saying is stop being the people without the kids with you talking about what happened. Because with me, even though the judge and the bailiffs and everyone else hated me because of how I looked and everything, my skin, my hair, everything, hated me. Because I just did the paperwork and went forward without losing my temper. And this is what my son did help me with a lot. My son helped me a lot with this. I shut my mouth. I shut my fucking mouth. Is that how he puts it? I shut my fucking mouth. And I didn't say shit. And I just did what I was supposed to do with the paperwork. And then everything else just came out. And if you just do that, then you'll have your children. But if there's a reason you don't have your kids, that's what I'm saying. Stop pretending it's somebody else's fault all the fucking time. Stop claiming this. My ex claims PTSD. She's never been through anything. She lays around and does nothing. She's been on welfare since way before I ever knew her. She's never done anything. She's always just laid around. Like she had to tell me that she boned some comic for $400 for headshots before she knew me. Which I respected her for telling me up front what happened, but then she lied about 500 other things. It's like one truth and 10 lies, But yeah, she had sex with some married comic. He paid her $400 so she could get headshots to do it. And she told me before, and then I ran into him, and she told me, he was like, And so when he was trying to make a point, I said, yeah, no, bro, she already told me. So I respected her for that, and I thought it was cool. But yeah, no, it turns out, no, total whack. Like she used to peg her ex. So you can't have this kind of life and everything and then pretend like it's not you. So I'm saying not every mom is fantastic. We don't have to salute moms. We have to salute, if we're going to salute somebody. See, this is the thing. Why are we saluting parents? Why is there a father? There should be a bad Father's Day and a bad Mother's Day. Actually, there should be 2 bad Father's Day. The old joke goes, one bad Father's Day is a thank you to the bad fathers for the strippers and the hooers and everything else. Jokingly. The truth is, there should be bad Father's Day and bad Mother's Day. Let's point out the horrible people. Let's call them out on that day. Because everyone else who's being a good parent is doing what we're supposed to do. Like I always tell my kids, if you're going to do anything on Father's Day, make me a card, please. That's all I want. Just make me a card. Sometimes they forget to know. But make me a card, whatever, because I'll celebrate having you guys. I'll take that day to celebrate being a father because you guys have allowed me to be a father. But You don't need to thank me for doing what a father's supposed to do. And you don't need to thank a mother for doing what a mother's supposed to do. And I don't know what other genders and everything else works in there, but you don't need to thank them either. And by the way, for the people that are so upset about Caitlyn Jenner being transgender and this and that, like, who cares? I mean, seriously, who gives a shit? Isn't it more about what does she have to say? What is she going to do? Because ain't nobody normal. Ain't nobody right. You know, I'll talk about this later, but oh my God, Susan Sager, there's a good mom. Look at there. There you go. There's a woman who's been a mom to the world in so many different ways. A mom to comedy, a mom to her kids, a mom to just so many different people. And one of my favorite people, I'm going to put you up because, see, that's what I'm saying. You're a standard. You're how it should be. You're how moms should be. Were you perfect? I don't know. Maybe not. You know, I mean, maybe you weren't perfect, but you were always there. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, God bless you. Hell yeah. Or whatever you believe, bless you. And happy Mother's Day to you. And happy Grandmother's Day to you as well, young lady. Susan Sager. A movie called Eating Raoul. I was just talking about the movie the other day because it's such a great concept movie. Movie called Eating Raoul. Fracking amazing. Okay, so the point is, though, like, do we have a mechanics day where we thank all the mechanics for fixing cars? And then we even thank the ones who overcharged and fucked up the car anyway. Do we have one of those? You know? We don't have a mechanics day. Do we have a Walmart greeters day? We don't. Because that's your fucking job. Just do it. And that's my point. As a mom, do your job. Be a mom. Like my ex right here, she could call today and go, you know what? I want to start being a mom. Even though I have full custody and legal and physical full custody. And the only rights are the two I gave her, which is Tuesdays and Thursday nights to have dinner. And she never shows up. So I don't even have to honor those. I would let her start like that, being a mom, if she was going to commit to being a mom. And I don't mean she has to prove. I would just start doing it. If you stop again, I may not give you another chance. But if she said today, I want to start being a mom, I would give her that opportunity. You know why? Because it would matter to my daughter. It would mean the world to my daughter. It would make her so happy. If she when I got her and her mom to talk again and started making her see her mom and things like that, because she never wanted to go to her mom's, I'd make her go see her mom. When I started doing that, she was happy. Like, she was like, oh, you know, and she didn't even know it. She go, I don't care. No, I don't give a crap. Like, I don't care. No, she went that way. But she said, I don't care. Okay, baby. She'd be like, well, by the way, we went bike riding. And I almost got hit and da-da-da. And then she go into this whole story about how, like, they did this or they did that. And I'm like, yeah, yes, yes, yes. I'm like doing my happy dance. Her mom's participating now, you know, all this stuff. I mean, hell, she came up to use the bathroom or whatever. And she's like, hey, do you have any weed? I even let her come smoke some of my weed. My ex. Because, like, fuck it, you're being a mom. Hell yeah. Like, whatever. I was trying to be nice as hell. I bought her an air fryer for when Johnny would be there to not cook with oil. I would send food through Amazon, even though I'm supposed to be getting child support. I would send her food through Amazon Prime to her place, or when she was staying at her grandma's, I'd send it to her grandma's place. Nobody else was helping her at all. But I was sending her food and stuff for them two. And she's just horrible. She takes advantage of everything. Because I don't want to be with her. She's wonky as hell. Like, when I first married her, she was 21 years old. I know who I am. I get it. You're right. But she was hot. New car smell, everything. Oh, sort of new car smell. Like, new car smell and holy shit, change the oil. Yeah, there was a big thing. Our whole marriage, it was like, from the time I met her, I'd go, okay, you got to clean better. Like, I didn't even care that she didn't shave her underarms. I thought that was cool. Or she didn't shave her legs. I thought that was cool. But God damn it, get a sponge, girl. Anyway, point I'm making is I was helping her out. I even sent money with my daughter so they could go do things. I sent snacks and other things, everything. I was so happy that my daughter was having a good time. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie. I was so happy that I was starting to get my own time. I was getting ready to almost date, to almost go do things, do comedy and stuff. So I'm not going to lie. It's two-sided. But I was fucking wholehearted in. I was doing the good work, you know. I was putting it all forward. I wasn't like, oh, I need this, so da-da-da. No, I made it all a beautiful thing. And she just flipped out, and then she can't just go, wow, sorry. But if she said today, I want to be a mom, I'd let her start being a mom again like that, because it helps my daughter. Every child needs their parents, both parents, if they can be decent. If they can be decent, every child needs both parents. That's the whole thing. So maybe take today to bring up to the moms that weren't doing good jobs, or to think to yourself as a parent, men and women, but the moms especially today, I don't want to cover her face. I want to cover hers. There we go. Are you really putting your children first? You know, are you thinking of them when you're doing stuff? Do you see it as you gave them life, or they gave you the ability to be a mother? I see it as my children gave me the ability to be a father. I didn't give them life. I made them live. I decided they would live. So did my ex. Each woman I had a child with decided they would live, and I decided they would live. I didn't give it to them. They didn't ask for it. You got to, if I forced it upon them. You know, you see what I'm saying? I forced life upon my kids. As mothers, you forced life upon your kids even more than I can. Even more than I can, because you control it in the end. You forced life. These two women here forced life on a child, on children. And then didn't back up those children, didn't have those children's backs, didn't treat them right, didn't do right by them. That's not okay. Do you see what I'm saying? You didn't give them life. If you don't see yourself as giving your children life, see yourself as being given the opportunity to be a parent. You don't give a pet a home. You get to bring a pet to your home. You've taken an animal and made it a pet for your home. You didn't give a pet a home. But in turn, the pet does have a home and it works good. In turn, the child does have life. And if you give it a good one, that is nice. But you owe that child. The child doesn't owe you. And you got to stop seeing it that way. Start looking at it as you've taken time away from your children. If you make your children watch your other children when they're supposed to be out living, but you want to go do things, or you and your new boyfriend, or you and the new daddy, or whoever it is, or you want to go out dancing, or you want to go with them, so you make your older children watch your younger children, you're a dick. You're a jerk of a mom. Same with you as a dad. But we're talking about moms today. If you do that stuff, you're a jerk. Stop it. It's their time. It's their life. Sorry if you made bad choices. Sorry if you had kids young. But you know what? This is their time. You're taking it from them. I never took that from my kids, I will tell you. Do let your kids know, though, that they have to be there for you when you need them. When things get ugly. So you provide for your kids every time you can. You always give them more than you have. Like, you never have more. I never eat better than my kids. I never eat more than my kids. Last night we had lamb. There were 3 lamb chops. I got one lamb chop and the meat off her bones when she was done. But she had the 2 lamb chops. That's just how it works. She needs the food more. You see what I'm saying? But your kids should always get more. At the same time, then when you've done everything, when you're doing all that for them, if shit goes awry, then everyone needs to come together and you make sure they know this. That's when everyone needs to step up and help at that time. but not so you could go here, or you could go there, or you could do this, you can go have fun, you can go get your nails done. Fuck you. Your older kids should never have to do for you so you could go do things you should have already done or prepared your life for. And I have never done that to my kids, and that's the truth. Now, you know what? I like my hair muffy. What do you think? That's like my bowl cut. I don't know about it. I don't know if I'm with it. I don't know. We'll see. However, the point I'm trying to make is this is a wild day because, so like, okay, for example, like my daughter's here today, right? But she's got a mom, and that mom is telling people stories that she was abused. She's telling people that she's got PTSD and anxiety. She also claims bipolar and schizophrenia and fibromyalgia and celiac disease. She told me she had cancer at one point. That I literally thought she was going to die. I let her stay like an extra year. Sorry, that's one side. I let her stay an extra year. She just recently backhandedly threatened me that when she kidnapped my daughter to Nevada, and her sister and her brother-in-law, or at least her brother-in-law, I'll say, made her give my daughter back because my daughter was like, no, my dad's never done anything, and I want to be with him. Like my mom's a wacko. And he literally called and apologized to me. I went and picked up my daughter with a comic named Fuckamico. And the guy hugged me when I got there. We talked afterwards. He kicked my ex out a few weeks later for stealing. And then a year later or whatever, a year and a half later, I guess he killed himself. And then, so that was like a year ago or so. And then, or maybe, about a year ago. And then, so recently she sent a text saying, yeah, well, I don't know, you better watch it because I don't know, but apparently Ron pre-planned things to have you killed. The guy worked at a car wash and he had just gotten out of jail for he beat a guy to death, but he wasn't part of like a group. So he just beat a guy to death. He was violent. He had a violent life. We were talking. Me and him talked a lot after. We were totally cool. So she's like, because you called his wife a cunt. I called his wife a cunt because she knew where my daughter was and wouldn't tell me. So I wrote a Facebook thing saying this cunt to make her respond. She responded. It worked. And I even said that to him. I go, it worked, right? I go, what would you have done? He goes, I'd have burnt their house down. Right, bro. That's why I'll do fucking anything when it comes to my kid. I won't apologize. Because like when he threatened me, I said, bring it on down, bro. Come on, I'll meet you anywhere. Bring my daughter. We'll fight and move from there. But then he realized the things that was the truth and why I was so pissed because I didn't do anything ever. Then they apologized. I got my kid back, blah, 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 right? So she's pretending like he from beyond the grave planned my murder. They barely had money to get by. But beyond my grave, he planned my murder. So she was trying to obviously plan my murder because she's gotten stipends and welfare and all kinds of other money that she's conned out because she lives under Section 8 by herself. She has no disability. She goes bike riding and she works. She's one of those people who works. It's a horrible thing. Anyway, the point simply is this. I pay for everything for my daughter. I take everything for my daughter. Stop saying it's Mother's Day. It's not. Let's start doing a bad Mom's Day. Let's everyone start. If you have a good mom, appreciate her fucking 363 or 364 days a year. Appreciate your mom. Appreciate the mom you have. Appreciate that you have a wonderful mom. Be glad. Be thrilled. Know how lucky you are. If you had a mom like mine or like this, then call them out. Tell them, fuck you. Fuck you for not being enough of a mom. Stop accepting that they did the best they could. Smoking crack in the kitchen while I'm in the living room, not me, but the kid, isn't the best you could. Having sex, my mom, this one. Having sex on the pull-out couch in the living room with 18, 19-year-old guys while I walk downstairs and see you is disgusting. You had your own room. You had your very own bedroom. but you were having sex on a pull-out couch in the living room several different times with people, but you had your own room. Why didn't you just take them to your room? Were there other guys in there waiting? I mean, like, what was going on? I didn't know. And so it was insane stuff like that. We used to walk in on my mom having sex all the time in different places. She was an awful person and a total drunk. She used to carry in her purse a couple cans of the dry gin martini, the canned martini. She would have a couple of those to drink throughout the day while she drove us around smoking cigarettes in the car. My parents were the ones that thought it was a good idea to make me quit smoking, or when they caught me with a cigarette, which were theirs, they made me smoke a whole pack. It just created an intolerance. I became a mad nicotine fiend. Anyway, guys, all I'm saying is some moms suck. Why don't we take today to call them out? Marcia Skowron, Purcell Burger, Megan, Ashley Lewis. Why don't we call them out for being bad moms? Call out your bad mom. If you want to, tag your bad mom in here and let her know it's not okay to be a bad parent. You chose to be a parent. You could have walked away. You could have bailed. And then, I could have left. Yeah, well, you should have. Then you should have, because you were horrible. You were horrible. All I'm saying is some parents are horrible. I'm a pain in the ass. I'm outspoken. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I'm opinionated. I'm embarrassing. But I'm there. I'm there 100%. I'm non-abusive. I've never been physically abusive to my kids. I've never, ever put my kids in danger or bad situations. I've always stood up for my kids. I've always had my kids' backs. I've always supported them financially and morally and in every possible way I can. My kids are amazing. I'm blessed to have them. I thank them for being my children, and I don't need a day that thanks me for being this lucky. I don't need a day to thank me that I'm so lucky to have such great children. So the Zeester, the Joester, the Jayster, love you guys. You are the best. I don't need a day. I need all year just to thank you guys for being born and being great. Now help me a little motherfucking more, you brats.